Evening, welcome back to Destiny. Look at my jet bike. I love my jet bike. I sing little songs to my jet bike. I'm serious, I do. As I'm going along, I'm just, it's so good. It's just, Anyway, right, before I get all kind of perverted, as I get tweeted, before I get all perverted over my love for my jet bike, I guess I just need to talk about Destiny. Let's talk about Destiny. Let's talk Destiny, bro. Now, those of you who are regulars and watching these videos, you'll probably know that, or rather playing the game, in fact, you'll probably know that Destiny was switched off for 2 days. So it's actually, the 21st today, and Destiny switched off to Wednesday. Which is a sad time, because I actually went back and played Dust because there was no Destiny. However, had some really good games in Dust, so, don't be a hater, bro. Play everything that you can. And I think actually it was quite a good thing. The interesting thing is as I'm running along in Dust, I'm trying to double jump, strafe, and shoot and do stuff like I do in this game. So, yeah, go figure. Anyway, let's talk Destiny. Now, we're still pushing forward. We have The Judge, and we have Delboy, internet's own Delboy. And we're just basically taking on some dudes. Now, I had a fascinating read in bed. I know, I live the life of a YouTube star. I'm not a star. I was about to make out that I was quaffing champagne and snorting coke off the back of prostitutes' bottoms. But sadly, no. I was sat in bed, sweating. So there's a nice picture for you there. Picture it, sweating. Anyway, I was sat in bed, and it's just too hot in the UK at the moment. So I was basically just sat there reading my tablet, and I saw a comment on the videos that somebody said, "Hey Pyrex, download the app for Destiny." And I'm like, the app? And I mentioned it in the last video. Basically what it is, it's part of the Android something, and it's part of the iOS, the thingamajig, doobry, what's it, thingamajig, what's it, fella my name. And it's basically just an app, and I downloaded it. And I started playing with it, and an hour and a half passed. It's actually quite good. Usually in-game apps are just a load of old bibble. And I mean terrible build, like quantities of shite. However, the Destiny one isn't bad, because what it effectively is a whole range of things. So check out the video, it should be coming up soon, where I basically sit down with a beer or a cup of tea, I can't remember what it was, and we just basically go through the app. And it's very good, because what it has, and the reason I kind of mention it is, and I won't spoil it, but the reason I mention one thing from it is it's got all of the lore built in it. So you notice you're capturing or collecting grimoire things. They're the little pages and the dead ghosts and things like that. This is also transferring into your grimoire. So you're able to read your grimoire by really using the app. And you can sit there and, go and have a very satisfying sit on the toilet perhaps, and actually catch up on the lore of this rather fine game. Now, the problem is while it's beta, a lot of it's being redacted, so just be aware of that. But I sat there, and within an hour, I was fully up to speed about the lore of this game. And tell you what, it's pretty bloody good, actually. I think there's very few games that actually give you, it gives you kind of believable sci-fi. I know it's obviously not totally believable, but hey, it ain't bad. And I think this is definitely worthy of comment. So there we go. Anyway, as you can see, we're trying to awaken an AI, I think. I've forgotten where we were, actually. But what we're doing here is just clearing out dudes. And another little interesting thing was, when it talks about lore, obviously, it's not just the lore of the kind of whole game. It talks about the lore of everything you're fighting here. So, for example, Vandals are basically sophisticated pirate with a very complex aristocracy structure. So these dudes we're shooting here aren't just NPCs, what they are, but there's a kind of very rich, subtle story behind them as well. So I've got to admit, usually I don't nerd it up that much, but this is getting me. This is getting my nerd bone going, which sounds ruder than it perhaps meant to be. Effectively, what it gives you is quite a big depth to the game. So, for example, this what I don't know what to call it actually. These kind of NPC enemy dudes are actually all from different castes and races. So some of them act like the Hive, for example. They act in a very different way to the Vandals, and the dregs. And the dregs, for example, are called dregs because they are the lower caste of the Vandal society, and they've had the lower of their 2 arms amputated because they're seen as, not worthy of having, additional appendages. And the way so there's a dreg there. So what they have to do is stab you and knife you to earn the right to grow their arms again. See, that's subtle, isn't it? That's quite, I like that. I think that's quite good. Anyway, look at that. That's a weird floating purple eye. Is this the Eye of Cthulhu? That's a servitor, apparently. This is some crazy ball of, well, eyes. I used to hope they're eyes. I hope they're not, well, balls, if you know what I mean. Loving it. I mean, again, such a great idea. They're actually, the AI in this game has kind of protective subroutines that then manifest themselves in a big floating purple eyeball of death, pain, and destruction. I like that. That's pretty cool. To be honest, I've got to admit, there's not a lot in this game that I'm kind of sat here going, what a load of bibble, because it is actually pretty good. I wanted to be kind of objective and let's say critical and analytical about this game, but it's very difficult to be when there is so much good stuff here. Let me give you one revelation that I had when I started doing this game, and when I then went back to Dust and played a bit of Dust, and then obviously came back to this. So I kind of alternate between the two for a few days. Let me tell you this revelation is movement is everything in these games. You play games to kind of feel like you're better and faster and more capable, stronger, faster, better, stronger, whatever, that whole statement. And people do that because you want to feel like, you're superhuman, more than your some of your parts as a frail bag of meat walking this scary, crazy world. And what Destiny has done incredibly well is give you the ability to feel that you move like a superhero, the ability to double jump, the ability to strafe, the ability to run around and do acrobatics. And that's what I love Dust for, but I think Dust has been outshined in its movement mechanic by this and Titanfall quite significantly, which is a real shame because, Titanfall with its parkour was excellent, and this game with its ability to actually do double jump and all of that stuff has tapped into the Terraria thing, where you start Terraria as a human being who's frail, can only jump about his own height, and he's useless. And what he then does is he unlocks things that allow him to double jump. Then all of a sudden he can, really double jump and levitate. And then all of a sudden the motherfucker can fly. And that progression from A to B to C is phenomenally empowering, and it makes you feel like Superman. This game has done exactly the same. You start as a frail person, and you then start to elevate through with greater skills, capability, and unlocks, and that really, really makes a lot of sense. Anyway, so as I'm babbling on, we finished. It was a very simple mission. We just had to kill some dudes, and we've unlocked a few more things. Now, what we've unlocked here is actually something called the Light Blade, which isn't a lightsaber. I believe it is actually it's the throwing knife, which is very nice indeed. And we'll show you that maybe in the next video. I just wanted to kind of show you a very quick kind of, map. And look at the loot system again. The loot's amazing. I'm really liking the loot. And look at that. Even loot can be upgraded, or rather even certain things or suits, items, etc. can be upgraded. So not only can you upgrade your character, you can upgrade all of your guns, you can upgrade all of your armor, all of your equipment. It is sublime. It really is. And this is why I say, a lot of people are kind of foolishly saying, well, this Destiny is just another Titanfall. It'll be dead in a month or two. No, categorically, no, it won't. It will be alive and kicking and getting going within a month, because already there's so much depth here. There's so much stuff that people are going to strive to excel in. A lot of people are kind of running and saying the Crucible's everything. The Crucible is everything. It's just, is what the game is. We haven't even got to the Crucible yet. We're playing through the story, so eventually we will. But this is this is the thing to bear in mind. There's so much here. There's so much story there. The maps are vast. You can explore at your own leisure. You can play the maps again. There's so many secrets to find. Now let me just quickly tell you a mod called for Stalker called Clear something. Oh, I've forgotten it. It's basic Stalker Call Appropriate. And it was, no, I almost had it then, but it was basically, it just seeded the whole map with special guns and special this and special that. and people would go and spend days, months, weeks looking for these special drops. And that's exactly what the power of this game is. It is going to be, basically OCD people like myself are going to spend days just searching the wastelands of all these planets for these special drops. And I tell you what, it's fun, and we're going to do it with a great big effing smile on our face, because this is one of the first games that gives you true free roaming MMO FPS fun, and they do it bloody well. Anyway, there we go. Hope you enjoyed that. See you next time.